Today, we are going to find out what would happen if an alien species visited us, which is only 5% smarter than us. Remember, we are talking about a species that is not just a little bit smarter, but 100 times smarter than a little bit. This would be truly incredible, so let's have a look. This is not science fiction. It is a paper by scientists who work at a prestigious university, and it was published in a prestigious journal. You can find more information below. They start out by asking what is the smartest strategy for exploring a new planet. I'll tell you what mine would be. When I travel somewhere new, I always like to know what's around me and then I go explore it. But of course, if I were an alien, then I wouldn't have a smartphone, so I couldn't just Google it. So instead, I would bring a drone with me. That would be my strategy. But turns out the researchers had another idea. They consider a world with lots of resources in which some parts of the world are dangerous and other parts are okay. And they say that a good exploration strategy would be to start out slowly and send out small drones to scout the land. If the drones come back with interesting reports, then send more drones. And once enough data has been gathered, then finally send out big ships. This makes sense. I think this is exactly what I would do if I were an alien. I mean, up to a point. I don't know, maybe you'd do something else. So far, so good. Now they introduce an alien species that lands on Earth, and they want to know how long it would take this species until it comes up with this optimal strategy. The catch is that they are only 5% smarter than us. Now, why do they care about this particular question? Well, they say that if there is life elsewhere in the universe, then there's a good chance that such life will be intelligent and technologically advanced. And they say that if we want to understand what kind of technological level we should expect from an alien civilization, then we need to understand how intelligence and technology are related. They also say that there are many ways to measure intelligence. For groups of animals, intelligence manifests itself in the complexity of their behavior. In the case of humans, it's the ability to use symbols and to cooperate on larger scales than any other species. As a group, we are pretty smart. But what does this mean for individuals? How can we measure individual intelligence? One way is to measure the ability to learn. Humans typically perform very well here. Another way is to measure the ability to solve logical puzzles. Humans do quite well here too, but these measures are both rather vague. How exactly do you measure the ability to learn or to solve logical puzzles? So the researchers decided to test their aliens on a task that is much more concrete. In their computer simulation, the aliens are given the opportunity to learn to play chess. If they figure out how to win at chess, then they pass the test. The reason they chose chess is that it's a game that requires planning ahead and evaluating the consequences of actions. And most importantly, it can be formalized into a mathematical theory that we understand quite well. So the researchers can simulate these aliens playing chess against each other, and they can ask how quickly do they learn to play the game. And that's what we are going to talk about now. How quickly do they learn? Very quickly. After only 500,000 years of playing against each other, they have learned to play optimally. I hear you asking, Caro, what do you mean by optimally? Like they have learned to always win, right? No. Optimally means that they have learned the best strategy that they can possibly have. Basically, they have learned what the best opening strategy is, and they have learned the general strategies like castling early on and so on. And they figured out how to calculate the optimal move in a reasonably short amount of time. All of this after only 500,000 years. Humans played chess for more than 600 years before we reached that level, so again, very impressive. The researchers also report that the aliens eventually figure out how to collect data about all possible moves, basically all possible variations that can occur in the game, and to store them in a library. It takes them about 2 million years to do this. Then they also develop the idea of a computer, though not one that can beat Garry Kasparov, unfortunately, just one that can help them look up the best move in given circumstances. This happens after about 8 million years. And after 20 million years, they have developed a universal digital computer. So basically, they get to the same level of technology that we reached about 200 years ago. But wait, it gets better. Eventually, they reach our current level of technology. That happens after 30 million years. Then they keep going, and after a whopping 45 billion years, they reach the level of a typical human mind. So basically, they get to the level where we are today. After 45 billion years, that's when they reach our general intelligence. And yet we are the ones who are supposed to be the advanced species. These guys learn twice as fast as we do. Wow. Now wait a second. Are we actually smarter than this alien species? Well, I hope so, but I'm not sure. Let's think about it. Yes, we have reached the level of general intelligence that they have reached after 45 billion years, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are smarter. Let me explain. What it could mean is that they just needed a lot longer to get started. They might be smarter, but their progress was so slow that we overtook them. Think of it like you are running a race and you overtake someone, then you are faster than them. But it doesn't mean that you are smarter. You might just have had a really good start. I wonder what it would take to become smarter than these aliens. Would we have to be 99% smarter, 99.9% smarter? How about 99.999% smarter? Is that enough? It turns out it's not even close. We would have to be 10 to the power of 37 smarter than them to outrun the exponential growth of their progress. Yes, they progress exponentially. If they currently have a speed of a, then in 10 million years they will have a speed of a times 10 to the power of 1.6. And after 45 million years, they will have a speed of a times 10 to the power of 6.8. But then we would have to increase our own speed by a factor of 10 to the power of 37. To put this into perspective, we would have to use 10 to the power of 17 times more resources than they do. I have no idea how we could ever do this. It seems basically impossible. So it appears that we are indeed the advanced species. Not because we are smarter than some hypothetical alien species out there, but because we got lucky. We started in an extremely favorable position. The fact that we are here today is basically a coincidence. And nothing, absolutely nothing, justifies the rampant overconsumption of our species. Sorry, I just had to say it. On Brilliant, you find courses on a large variety of topics in science, computer science, and mathematics. It's a fresh and new approach to learning that makes growing your knowledge easy and fun. And interactive and visual, I really enjoyed the courses I've taken there. They have a course on quantum computing that starts out by explaining what a quantum bit is and how it works, and then you get to simulate how quantum computers work on your own. You can also try out the course on probability and statistics or the one on algorithms and data structures. Sounds good. I hope it does. Thanks for watching and for your generous support, and I'll see you next time.